What's going on, guys? It's Cole, and welcome to Week 7 of the Global Pokémon Invitational. So last week, we unfortunately dropped to Kevin and Phoenix Primals. So this week, we will hopefully get back on track against Jules and the Seattle Shiny Sylveons. Ignore all these numbers because I'm recording this after the regular season. So anyway, the team that she has is Therian form Landorus, Volcanion, Haxorus, Ogrepon, Regieleki, Sylveon, of course, Cloyster, Shiftry, Berserker, and Crocodile. So the team I figured she would bring was the 5 on the left, and then probably Sylveon. So let's take a look at our team, because we made one trade. So, as you can see, we no longer have Mamoswine. Instead, we traded Mamoswine to Lavender Town for Rotom-Wash. So the team that we're bringing is Cresselia, Rotom-Wash, Tyranitar, Abomasnow, Glastrier, and Magcargo. Alright, so I will see you in the battle. Alright, so we are getting ready to battle against Jules. And so the team that she is bringing is Regieleki, Landorus-Therian form, Volcanion, Shiftry, Haxorus, and of course Sylveon. So Shiftry I wasn't expecting. And the team that we're bringing is Glastrier, Rotom-Wash, which we had traded for Mamoswine, obviously, Magcargo, Abomasnow, Tyranitar, and Cresselia. So I am planning on hopefully winning a game with Magcargo. As long as I can get it up behind screens, we'll be good. Alright, so as you can see, we led off with Abomasnow, and she led off with Regieleki. Stupid thing kept freezing on me. So she switched out into Shiftry as we went for a Leaf Storm. So Shiftry is the only thing that she can terrestrialize. So Shiftry sets up Tailwind, activating its new ability Wind Rider. And we set up Veil. So I go for Ice Shard, bringing her down to yellow. But she goes for Brick Break. So of course she would bring Brick Break on the week that I decided to bring dual screens. Cresselia. So I was thinking, oh cool, Shiftry won't Terra here, because there's going to be no point, so I can knock it out. But nope, she Terras. She goes into Terra Steel. So now she resists Ice Shard, so she gets to knock us out with another Brick Break. So I go into Glastrier. I'm thinking she's gonna go for Brick Break again. I go for a Terra Ghost and Body Press. But instead she goes straight for the knockoff, which brings us down to 39 HP, but we will knock out Shiftry. She then sends Regieleki back out, which obviously can knock out Glastrier. So I just let Glastrier go down here, because there's no point in saving it. So I got into Cresselia. So I go for Reflect. This Thunderbolt brings us down to almost half. That brings us down to 19. So I go into Tyranitar. So Regieleki will be swapped out by the red card. Also, I can activate Sandstream. Volcanion comes out. So it goes for a Steam Eruption, which does a good amount of damage. And of course we miss Stone Edge. So I go for Stone Edge again. And another Steam Eruption will knock us out. And that was through Light Screen and the Special Defense boost. So she withdraws Volcanion and goes into Regieleki. As I go for a Hydro Pump and knock it down to red, which was very risky as Volcanion has Water Absorb. So she goes for a Volt Switch, which doesn't do much. She goes into Sylveon. Which doesn't take much from Hydro Pump. So she goes for a Calm Mind. Gets healed up by leftovers. Fluct wears off. So I go for Moonlight. And she goes for a Moon Blast. So I set up another light screen. So I go for a Shell Smash after she constantly set up with Calm Mind. And then she withdraws Sylveon. Goes back into Stanley Steamer. So I should go for another Shell Smash. Or one. Sorry, that was my first one. So we go for Power Gem, knock out Volcanion. She then sent out Haxorus. Power Gem comes off, and it was a damage roll. So Magcargo goes down to an Earthquake. So Mold Breaker lets it hit us with Earthquake, bring us down to 6 HP. So we knock out Haxorus with Hydro Pump. So she goes out to Regieleki, so Rotom will die here. we go back out obviously into Cresselia. Regieleki for Thunderbolt to bring us down to 41 HP as I go for an Ice Beam and knock it out. So Landorus comes out and can knock out Cresselia as the timer hits 0. So Cresselia falls and we lose game 1. So I will see you guys in game 2. Alright, so game 1 didn't go the way I would have hoped. But I mean, we didn't do too badly. But it could have gone better. So in this game, I'm going to try and mostly sweep with Magcargo. We'll see how it goes. But gonna try my best. Because I really brought him just so I could win at least one game with Magcargo. So hopefully it works out in our favor. But again, time will tell. So she leads off with Landorus, as we lead off with Cresselia. So I'm expecting her to switch into Shiftry, so we go straight for the Ice Beam. There's the Volt Switch. And yep, in comes Shiftry, which will get nailed by the Ice Beam. Brought down to just below half, and frozen. So here I thought she would just sack it off and not terrastalize it. But nope, she does terrastalize it, which means it will easily tank this Ice Beam. It's frozen solid for one turn. So I go Rotom. It stays frozen solid for another turn. Stays frozen solid for another turn. And Thunderbolt will knock it out. So once I get screens up, they're there to stay. So she then sent out Haxorus. She sets up a Dragon Dance. And then gets burned. But it eats its Lumberry. So I go for Will-O-Wisp again. She goes for an Earthquake, which knocks out Rotom. So then send out Abomasnow. She goes for an X-Scissor, which brings Abomasnow down to 17 HP. We hit a Blizzard, which will somehow not knock out Haxorus, but we get a Freeze again. We just go for an Ice Shard and knock out Haxorus. She then sends out Volcanion. Who takes very little from Ice Shard, as my Aqua Berry does literally nothing to help me, and Abomasnow gets knocked out. So we set a Tyranitar. So I expect her to switch out, so I go for an Ice Punch, which she does, into Landorus, so this Ice Punch will do massive damage even through the -1, brings it down to the red. I get hurt by the Rocky Helmet. It goes for an Earthquake as I go for Stealth Rocks, but Earthquake kills me, so that didn't work. I was kind of hoping I'd be bulky enough so that my red card would activate. So I go into Cresselia. So I set up a Reflect. No, I set up a Light Screen because I know she's going to go for U-turn and probably go into one of her special attackers. So I want to set up a Light Screen so I can set up Reflect afterwards. So as I expected, she went out into Regieleki. So I go for the Reflect, hoping I can live, which I do, but I get paralyzed. And I can't set up Reflect because I get paralyzed. And we fake to the Sandstorms. Now it's time to go into Magcargo. So I Terra Grass to resist the Thunderbolt as I click Shell Smash. So she withdraws Regieleki, goes into Landorus. As I just click Power Gem, and Landorus goes down. She then sends out Sylveon. So I click Flamethrower again. I click Flamethrower. Don't do that much. I burn Sylveon. Sylveon goes for a Moonblast, which brings us down to 58. I go for another Flamethrower. Bring her down to the red. As she clicks Wish. And here I have a decision to make. If I click Shell Smash again, and she doesn't protect, pretty sure Magcargo is going down here.
Want to see me click Shell Smash?
You want to see me do it again?
But if I do click Shell Smash, and like this, she does protect, then we guarantee the knockout. And then, when Regieleki comes out, if it's timid, it just barely outspeeds us. But if it's modest, we just outspeed it. So let's see what happens, shall we? We click Flamethrower, and Sylveon goes down. All we have left is Volcanion, who obviously cannot take Power Gem, as Light Screen wears off. So if she outspeeds Magcargo, even though we're Grass type, I'm pretty sure Magcargo goes down here, because we're at -1. So at this point, I really needed her to be modest, Regieleki, considering how fast this thing is anyway. And luckily for us, she was modest. So, for the first time ever, a Regieleki gets outsped by a Magcargo. And finally, out comes Stanley Steamer, who will fall to a Power Gem. with that click, we have won game 2 with Magcargo. So, see you guys in game 3. Alright, and welcome to game 3. So like I said, I was very happy because I was able to win a game with Shell Smash Magcargo. I don't think that's going to happen in this game, because she's not going to let that happen again. So she starts with Shiftry this time, as I start with Tyranitar. So we switch out Tyranitar and go into Cresselia. As she terastallizes. And sets up Tailwind, activating Wind Rider. So she goes up for a knockoff, knocking off our Light Clay. I'm trying to get another freeze. I don't get it. So definitely looks like we're not getting screens up this game. So I go into Glastrier. So she goes for a knockoff, knocking off our Assault Vest. So we go for a Body Press and knock out Shiftry with a crit. So then she goes out into Volcanion. So I go into Rotom as she goes for a Steam Eruption, which burns us. So I was really hoping she was going to switch, which is why I went for Hydro Pump. I didn't want to risk her going into Landorus. So I then just click Thunderbolt, doing less than half. And Rotom will go down to a Steam Eruption. We go into Abomasnow. So we set up Aurora Veil. As our Aqua Berry along with Aurora Veil will help us take Flamethrower with at just about half. I go for a Leaf Storm. Lowering our special attack, activating Eject. Nope. I didn't activate Eject Pack because I didn't have that this week. I'd use the Aqua Berry, of course, duh. So we go into Magcargo. So I Terra Grass in case she goes for a Steam Eruption. But she read it and goes for Flamethrower. If I go for a Shell Smash. So I go for a Terra Blast, just to show that we had it. Knocking off Stanley Steamer. Obviously it's over. I can't win at this point. So it doesn't matter what I go for. Moonblast will knock out Magcargo. So we go into Glastrier. So Moonblast takes us down to the red. Avalanche will knock out Sylveon. So Regieleki comes out. Knocks us out with Thunderbolt. So T-Tar comes out. The Landorus comes out now. Stun Edge does less than half. But again, it's over, so we fall to 3 and 4. And in the next video, we will be going up against Ryan and the Boston Braviaries. So I'll see you guys next time. Later.